So if it wasn't already pretty obvious from any of my previous videos or where I literally currently live, I am definitely not the target demographic for absolutely any of these condos. However, when my friend asked me if I wanted to take a viewing of them, I said yes without a thought, because I'm a really curious person and I want to see what is available out there, how different units look in different buildings. And I thought it'd be a really cool experience for my audience as well. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first unit we saw was 36 Blue Jays unit 1126, coming in at 1,040 square feet with 2 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. And this was one of the cheaper units that we saw at $5,000, which is absurd to say. This unit was actually really cool, but I'm not too sure if it's because it was my first unit that we saw and the shock factor really appealed to me. So this was the only duplex that we saw, which was still pretty cool because obviously it's inside a condo building. And once you come through the main door, there's a small corridor and a powder room to the left that has a toilet and a sink. And it opens up to a much bigger living room that has obviously the kitchen, the living room, a little study nook, as well as a fireplace and a little space for a dining table. I think I really liked this living room because it was open concept, but because it was so square, you could still compartmentalize each of the different living areas or each of the different areas. So there was still some separation from the kitchen to the couch to the dining table, as well as the little study corner that you had. Obviously, the finishings were absolutely crazy. I'm not too sure if it was quartz or marble, but it looked really nice, high-end stuff. There was a little chandelier that would sit right on top of a dining table. And overall, like, this room was really airy and nice. Not much of a view because we were looking into another building, but the buildings were far enough that you still had some light coming in, which was pretty sick. And then you go up the stairs to the second floor, which is left of the main entrance door. And that's where you have your 2 bedrooms. So one bedroom is a proper master that has a complete door, but the other bedroom kind of looks down into the living space, which is a really sick touch. It feels like what a 1-bedroom loft would be, but it has an extra bedroom. I could see myself living here with a roommate if I had a decent enough budget, but to be honest, I think this feels more appropriate for a family where you would use the main bedroom as a bedroom and then the second room as an office, the way most people do at lofts. And yeah, it was cool to see. I think it was a really sick unit, and I personally would definitely live here if money was no issue, because I just like how it's laid out. And even though this place didn't have a balcony of any sorts, I don't think it needed it, because it had enough light and enough sun exposure for it to make it feel really warm and airy. And I'm personally not a smoker or anything, so I don't really care for balconies anyways. Also, obviously, they had all the usual things that you expect, a giant dryer and a washing machine, as well as dishwashers and stuff like that. Insane to see that this is what $5,000 gets you. And I think for a dink couple, so dual income, no kids, this would be a pretty great deal, especially if you were living in the city temporarily for a few years and didn't want to invest in the Canadian real estate with these downtown prices. I think this would be a pretty sick deal. I've been told that some famous basketball player used to live in this condo, this exact unit, so that's also pretty sick. But yeah, overall, a great start. I feel so poor now. Like, do you realize my pain when I saw all of these units and I went back and I was like, dude, tough. But again, really sick stuff. I wanted to say though, one thing, that some of the design choices in this unit was really, I don't want to say concerning, but I want to say tacky. Is that worse? I don't know. So the next unit we saw was unit 1105, located at 608 Richmond Street West. This is by far, like, genuinely one of my most favorite units I think I've ever seen in my life. Well, at least until this point of my life. 1,300 something square feet with 3 bedrooms and I believe 3 bathrooms. And this unit made me feel like I wanted to raise a family here. I grew up in Bangladesh in a flat, so I'm not used to growing up in a house and stuff. And this made me nostalgic, even though it was so much more modern than obviously in the house that I grew up in. Again, it was a loft style building, and you know me, I gravitate towards them. But this was massive, like 1,300 square feet. It had a beautiful balcony. The master bedroom, I kid you not, pretty much took 1/3 of the entire unit. Walk-in closet that's very well integrated. They really thought about every single small detail in this unit, which I really like and appreciate. And the bathroom itself was gorgeous. It had a full-on bathtub, as well as separate like showering place, double vanity sinks. It was genuinely sick. I loved it. The fact that you could have something so cool and spacious within a condo building is really impressive. And all of these units were furnished because I think that the target demographic that they are chasing is people who temporarily come in, you know, like CEOs, C-suite, people who have temporary business in Canada, but it's longer than staying in a hotel. The stoves were gas stoves. It was pretty much meant for someone who couldn't yet hire a personal chef, but would have a lot of parties where someone would come in and they would cook for their friends. It was a great little space, and I think that it was very tastefully furnished as well. And I know style is subjective and all that, but I genuinely really liked it. I think it's very up my alley, and I only have good things to say about it. I'm looking back at this footage and I'm just like, I'm literally smiling because of how much I like this place and how easily I could envision myself living here. So yeah, like this was great. The loft itself is also a great little building, great lobby. The outside is really pretty, right across from the Good Life at Richmond and Bathurst. And because it was a smaller building too, it didn't go that high up. The views were nothing crazy, and it was partially blocked because of the buildings across the street. You had the entire spot to yourself. You could, you know, look left, look right. You'd be able to find a view here and there. So overall, I think 10 out of 10. And now we can talk about the price at $7,000. That is very steep, but hey, I mean, if you are a family of 3 or even a family of 4 with a dog or a cat, I think you could justify it, especially if you were living short term. But yeah, that was what I thought. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this place. The next unit we saw was 39 Queens Quay East, unit 1208. And this was the unit that I was most excited about, but severely disappointed by. And I'll tell you why. This is a massive 2,200 square feet unit, literally on edge of downtown Toronto. It is by the water, so all you see is sprawling views of Lake Ontario. It is beautiful. The ceilings are probably higher than I have been in any house, let alone condo unit. I was really excited. The pictures were so cool. It had 3 bedrooms, 1 was a study, and 2 separate bedrooms with views of the city. It had its own separate kitchen that had more storage than I think my entire apartment combined just for the kitchen. Each of the bathrooms had great features, top of the line. You couldn't get any better than this, especially in a condo building, without paying absurd amount of money. And you'll see the fixtures and fittings were literally top notch. You'll see a clip of me lying down in the tub, thinking about all the shareholder value that I created on just that day. And now, having said all those good things about this place, the thing that disappointed me the most was the choices of wallpapers. I don't understand why you would have such a beautiful piece of real estate at hand and then destroy it by using the most questionable wallpapers I've seen in my entire life. This entire unit was giving millennial core. Like, this is millennial core final boss, if you ask me. I absolutely despise the live, laugh, love style of decorating units, and this unit had that. There were pillows that said, live your best life, life is short, life is beautiful. The couch itself was ugly, the wallpapers didn't do any justice, not a single blank wall. Even if you decided to put up art and pictures and stuff, it still wouldn't look great because the patterns make it look so busy. I was honestly pretty upset, especially if it's a rental unit, and I think the price was $12,000 or $13,000 a month, which is so absurd. And obviously you couldn't make these changes because you're living here short term. It just disappointed me. I really liked the views that this unit provided, the architectural decisions, fittings, and then the tiles in the different rooms that they decided to go with. But all the stuff that decorated the walls and stuff, especially for this unit, I think the Gen Z effect is really important. Okay, let's move on. The fourth and the final unit we saw was in the Shangri-La building, and it was on the 53rd floor. So unit 5302 at 180 University Avenue. And I don't have words for how insane this building is, let alone the unit. From the moment we walked in, there were people opening doors for us. We were waiting at concierge and they were like, oh, like we were expecting you 20 minutes ago, you're late. They don't even ask who you are, they just know. Let alone a different tax bracket, this is a different lifestyle, completely different. And you know a unit is massive when a full-sized couch that usually goes in a family home looks tiny and obscure and out of place in a place like this. So on the 53rd floor, this unit occupied 2,270 square feet of space plus 270 extra square feet for the balcony. My entire unit is 500 square feet, including the balcony. You can imagine my shock and my awe to see that people actually live like this, which is really cool, but obviously the rich get richer. But for $15,000, it better be freaking cool. And I'll start with describing the floors itself of the unit. Entire thing was herringbone in a beautiful, beautiful wood finish, just the right warmth without it making it look too orange, which is what I like. It had a levitating standalone stove. So the stove was in the middle of the room and not against one of the walls, which is obviously a lot more expensive to do. And the views, again, are just so insane. End-to-end sprawling views of the city on the west and the south side, which are by far the best directions that you want to stay in. And that is what I'm currently looking for in a humble 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment right now. To be honest, I wouldn't know what to do with this much space. Usually I have a pretty good sense of idea of where things should go in a living room. This is beyond me. I wouldn't know how to fill it up. Maybe I would need 2 couches, let alone 1. Coming to the bedrooms themselves, again, great views of the city from almost every angle of this specific unit. Great tub, and I don't even need to say, but it had all the things that you expect from a luxury apartment: built-in closet, a nice shower tub, massive bedroom, and even massive bathroom that is the size of my entire bedroom, and even bigger bedroom, obviously. I think the layout of this place was really cool because 2 separate bedrooms, and either of which you could treat as a master. I think it was a really well thought out place, and it would be really cool to actually see what this place would look like if it was fully furnished, because this was the only unit that we saw that wasn't fully furnished, obviously, as you can see from all the videos. And on top of that, it needed a little bit more TLC because the last tenant left a pretty dirty spot. And yeah, so with a little bit of love and a little bit of furnishing, this unit would look absolutely sick. I honestly don't have anything else to say. Like, there's anything that you thought about this unit has. And the price, $15,000 a month. Yeah, $15,000 a month, which is a lot of money. That's like, I want to say that's like my 3 months paycheck after taxes, which is insane. But it was really cool to see. And that's about it. That's all 4 units that we saw. Let me know which one your favorite was. I think I liked the first 2. That's just showing my budget mentality. But with that being said, let me know what you thought. I appreciate you for watching, and don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and please subscribe to the channel. I am really close to 1,000 subs, and I really, really appreciate you for giving me the support that you have recently. See ya. Bye.